Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another simple random battle. Let's jump right in. Okay, so I am Ethan. Okay, so I started with a Dragonite, and he sends out a Bowsprout, so I'm just like, I'm pretty comfortable here, so I'm going to set up a sub, but I do have a Stealth Rock guy on my team, so I could have switched into that as well, which would have been completely safe from the Spellsprout. I think it was a Wormadam Trash Cloak form, so that was Steel Bug. But I couldn't let the opportunity of doing some sort of damage to Dragonite because it was such a good matchup for me. So I stayed in, and I get a few Dragon Tails off before he is able to basically break my sub and force me to leave. I think I still try to get a Dragon Tail off, but of course I miss. But this Houndoom is not going to do too much to me, despite the fact that my multi-scale has been broken. It's still not going to do too much to me. The only thing I would worry about would be a S-Def drop, basically. So I get another Dragon Tail off, and he unfortunately has a Fracture. So I'm going to have to GTFO here. So I do go to my Steel type, which is that Wormadam thingy-majigger, and this is a perfect opportunity for me to set up rocks. And so I am able to do so. And that outrage just doesn't do jack squat. With Life Orb boost too. So this is a pretty good situation for me. He's trapped in that move for at least one more turn, and I do think he gets 3-turn outrage, which is pretty shitty for him. But you know, it's the price that you pay for outraging at such a such a early game, and also because of the fact that he doesn't know what Pokemon I have. Team Preview is not present in random battles, so it's even more risky. So he does the right thing and goes to Empoleon, which I think is to not take that Toxic, which was just bad luck on my part, but to basically wall my Wormadam. And to get some sort of rocks up. I was afraid of protecting to Scout because he might have had rocks, but of course he didn't. So that protect was pretty good. So at least I know it has Ice Beam. I think all the random sets do carry Ice Beam just because it's so imperative for Empoleon to get that grass coverage for grass type Pokemon. So he goes he switches in my Dragonite, and I have to immediately switch again. So if he predicted that, he could have used Roar again, but I guess he doesn't have residual damage or anything like that, so it doesn't matter. So I go into my Magikarp for the fodder business, even though it's full health, because I mean, to be honest, what is Magikarp? It's fodder. It's like having a Caterpie. Though I think it might be a little bit better than Caterpie, just because it's pretty fast and it can like paralyze some things, which proved to be crucial because I do get the bounce off here, and it does paralyze this Gothtel, or however you pronounce that. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, so this plays a crucial role. I'm not exactly sure how crucial, but it was very important to me later on. From what I can recall. So I go for another bounce, and he gets paralyzed hacks pretty harshly in this battle, and yeah, it always sucks. I mean, but this is a game of luck, and on the contrary, it does make the game more exciting if there's some element of luck. Luck must be used wisely, not randomly like Horn Drill or like Double Team. But luck does supplement to the excitement of the game. I do feel like a game with zero luck is it's kind of boring because it's very predictable every single time. If every attack at 100 accuracy, then you don't have high risk moves like Mega Horn where it can pay off or it cannot. It's something that you have to work around with, and that's what strategy is all about. So I go into my Shaman, which is definitely MVP in this match, as you'll see soon enough. So he gets another Paralyzed Hacks, which allows me to set up a sub safely. And so now I'm at a pretty comfortable position because Shaman has a lot of special defense and HP to boot, and I get rid of his substitute. So he stays in and tries to do something, I'm guessing to break my sub, but he gets paralyzed again. So yeah, actually that paralysis, despite I don't think the speed drop had anything to do with it. I think it was just the hacks that helped me out a lot. And who knows what would have happened if he didn't get so many paralyzed hacks. Yeah, if he didn't get screwed so much. So anyway, he tries to break my sub, and Shadow Ball does not even do 25% of Shaman. That just shows how crazy Shaman is in terms of the bulky department. But of course, I miss with the Leech Seed. Not that it would matter anyway, because Bellsprout is immune to that. So he does break my sub, and I do get an Earth Power off, which is neutral thanks to Bellsprout's secondary typing, which is Poison. So he gets rid of my sub with a Sludge Bomb, and at this point, I feel like he's gonna go for another Sludge Bomb, because I don't know. You don't want to overpredict, and this is just kind of the gut feeling that you get when you play Pokemon for so long. You get these kind of predictions, and of course, I am my intuition is correct. So I go into my Wormadam, and I don't recall what I do. So I double switch, hoping that he'd switch into something other than not switching, basically. But he does go for the Sleep Powder to kind of, I don't know, neutralize pretty much anything. But I do go back, which Shaman has Natural Cure, so it's no longer asleep. So now what does he do? He switches out after putting something asleep. I don't know if I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge, unless you're stupid or living on the rock, that Shaman, excuse me, Shaman does carry Natural Cure, so I'm not exactly sure what that's about. So he gets a Swords Dance off, and I get a Toxic. So now I am potentially able to stall him out if he doesn't, kill me outright with +2 attack, basically. So I predict some sort of Outrage, but he does go for another Swords Dance, which kind of scared me, because now that I've successfully protected, I cannot do it again unless I want to risk, having a 50% chance failure. So I go for some sort of attack, but he goes for the Superpower and slightly lowers his attack. Not that it matters. 2.5 is still freaking powerful. So I just need some way to stall out, basically. And Fracture is not that fast. And I know that, a 78 level Shaman should be able to outspeed a level 86 Fracture. I mean, it's NFE. I'm not exactly sure what its base speed is, but I'm going to be able to, especially with recoil damage, Life Orb recoil, that I am able to stall out, and I do so. So he gets Switch Initiative, and he goes into his Girafarig. Now, this Girafarig really just didn't do anything to my Shaman. And as you'll see, with Leech Seed and Sub, you are not going to do too much to me. So he gets 32%, which I know that he's going to be able to break my sub if I do sub up. But because I'm getting lefties and Leech Seed recovery, I'm going to stall out for a few turns before I, straight up attack it, because it's in my favor to do this type of thing. So I'm pretty comfortable. I'm just going to continue to sub up, and of course it has lifties too, so it's basically getting Sandstorm damage. So we're not getting anywhere at this point. But my plan, I'm not exactly sure what happened, or I'm not exactly sure what I planned at this point, but he does go for the random, agility, which I guess does supplement his strategy later on, because he does Baton Pass it. But I go for a Earth Power while he goes for a agility. So now he's going to be faster. So he's going to be able to damage me, and I'm going to be able to get a sub up. So that was very helpful for me, because of the fact that just having a sub up is better than having it broken and not getting damaged because of that sub. So in certain circumstances, being slow is actually better. So now I have a sub up, so I'm pretty healthy. And over here he Baton Passes, and I wasn't exactly sure. Okay, so he does break my sub first. If Leech Seed carries over to the Baton Passer, and this Shaman is just a boss. I mean, Rest, Natural Cure, it's a pretty nasty combination. So all of his work is pretty much nullified. I switch out. Sleep is cured, basically. I go into my Lairon, which resists Psychic, but he does go for the Baton Pass. And the Leech Seed is passed for, so that's very, that's very good for me. So now I'm thinking I am Choice Banded, and I think I escape because... No, he goes for the Hidden Power. So that must have been either Hidden Power Ground or Hidden Power Fighting, otherwise you're not touching that Lairon. So I predict accordingly and go into my Dragonite. So Ground and Fighting is neither going to hurt Dragonite, and Dark Pulse is just not going to do too much. And Dragonite is way too powerful. So I go for the Desperation Outrage because I have very little options at this point. And he goes into his Empoleon, I believe, and he will be able to take me out with a Ice Beam. And of course, I cannot switch because I am locked into Outrage. So this just goes to show the importance of the drag mag. Wait, was it 4 mag? No, 2 mag 4 drag strategy, which is you have to take care of steel types before you go on an Outrage Rampage. I mean, Outrage Rampage is one of the most just brutal things you can do in this competitive environment, but steel types will stymie your ability to sweep under any circumstances. You need to get rid of the steel types that are in your opposition's team, and this is much easier to do with Team Preview. So I take care of his Empoleon because it's pretty, it's kind of fat and slow. So slow Pokemon is just not that good. So he goes into his Bellsprout, which ×4 resists my Giga Drain, and unfortunately I do not have any other attack, and it's very hard for me to switch at this point because they're both gonna be basically weak to Sludge Bomb. But I get Bayleaf to take the Sleep Powder. This way he can't put my Shaman to sleep under any circumstance. So that's better than being asleep and then going, switching out for that cure, because I'm just wasting my turn, in which I could use to attack otherwise. So he gets the poison off, and I get a little worried, but then I forget that I have rest, which is, it's completely a non-issue at this point. And Shaman is pretty fast. I mean, base 100 speed, which is almost like average nowadays. It used to be fast, but there's just so many new threats with like troll speed of like 102, 10. Like Garchomp was one of the pioneers, and then you have the Musketeers, and you have all these bullshit Pokemon that just kind of screws up the speed tiers a little bit. And so I go for the what do I go for? So I go for the Leech Seed because I know that Bayleaf would be able to survive if it's Leech Seed. And he goes for the substitute, and it's pretty much GG at this point because I do rest, and this Gothel cannot do anything to the Shaman. I mean, I can just sit here all day long. So it's going to be GG right here. I think he quits out after about 2 turns of just, waiting for the inevitable. So, yeah, that was a very good game. And, of course, Black Voltage, being the nice guy or girl, most likely guy. Though I did went to a con recently. It was like an anime con or something. It was my first time going, just because a bunch of friends wanted to drag me there. Anyway, I brought my DS, and I did that little survey thing because usually I'm forever alone and there's no one wants to play Pokemon with me. I'm a very sad person. So I went to that con, and obviously everyone's a big fucking nerd over there. So I do that survey thing, in Castellaria City, whatever you call it. And apparently, out of all the people, I got over like 50 people. Girls and guys that play Pokemon is half and half. So that kind of put a new perspective. Maybe Pokemon is pretty popular with both genders. Like I said before in my previous videos, Pokemon just appeals to everyone because of the fact that you have your strong Pokemon for your little Timmies that want a Charizard. You have your depth for any hardcore gamer to get into, and then you have the cute Pokemon and the various quirks about Pokemon that women or girls like to interact with. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point, but this was a very good GG. I'm pretty sure I had one more thing to talk about, but I totally forgot about that. So we're just gonna have to, forget about that. Let's live in the present, folks. So good game, and I'll see you guys next time.